Hey, NASDAQ, we get the best dope on the markets. Today is Monday, actually the day's almost over, May 11th, okay? What are we looking at here? We're looking at crude, top left-hand corner here. This is June crude. Par 37 was the overnight high, okay? Par 37, and then 96.13. Okay, I've been talking about selling crude oil rallies. Okay, how do you approach? Okay, anyway, right now we're back at 98 half ish. Okay, up $3. But I want to show you how this thing played out here. This is the seventh down here. Okay, what was it? Okay, this is the 8 o'clock bar, 96.13. Okay, first bar out of the box. Okay, this seller didn't give a rat's ass about anything. He was selling this. We were up at 100 earlier, okay, last night. Well, anyway, this is where we traded. Check this out. Okay, I've had these greens here, 98.56 and 99.83. Okay, you know, there's some distance between them, and especially in futures. Well, anyway, we went up here. Look at this high, 99.84. If you had it to sell at 83, exactly on the number, you are filled. Okay, so here we are back to a trend line here, and this is what it looks like bank hours. Okay, here you can see a little head and shoulders down here. Okay, and this was last week, or this was at the end of last month. Okay, so that's crude oil here. All right, so we could go up to these levels and have your stop would be over there, par 37. Now here, look right here. I got par. Oh boy, hang on a second here. Let me move that over here. Par 53. I apologize about that. I'm going to try to get that thing fixed. I need the recorder here, OBS, to do a little bit smaller. Not all the way to the corner of the screen. Anyway, so there's the 99.83. Okay, and then you had this up above here. Your buy stop could go over here. You did have this at 101.50. Okay, I wanted to sell this area. Okay, and it's still live. You know, but if you're if you're looking, we'll see here. We're playing right around these levels right here, right now. Okay, here the low is this trend line up to this. What was that range anyway? 98.20 to 99.84. Okay, I'll get off of crude oil here because I want to go through a few other things here. Silver, yes, that's we got down to 79.53. Okay, last night. Let's see if we can find it here. What is this? This is a 12-minute chart. Was this it? This was it. This was 5 o'clock out of the box. Open up under this, and then they sell it off here. Okay. And then here, this was the action. This was the low. This was the low. And then all of a sudden, come here. I was down for a little bit. Oh, I don't know why that's got that gap in data. Especially from somebody that tells you how important data is. Just had a floor trading associate that says, "Oh, I can't get those oddball time frames." Okay, that's why they offer some other hints. I say learn it. Here you can see a 7. Here we can see 2 7s. Oh, okay. And then this is 7 the other way down here. So we are at 86.50. We are up $5.60. $5.60. Open it at what? 80.15? Where'd we close? 80.92. Yeah. That was where we Oh no, here it'll be back here. In any event, let's go. Let's move on. This was gold here. Okay. Now this is the thing I kind of think is bottoming. Anyway, what's the low here? 46 double. Okay, so 46 double here. You can see over in the right hand corner, 46.57.30. Okay, and then you can see there's that green moving average there, but there's something right underneath here. 57.30, okay, now that's 57. Oh, and then 67.80. Okay, so this was the low. This was on the 11th. This was at midnight. Okay, this is what it looks like. Okay, so gold was the weak sister, and then all of a sudden gold took off too. Okay, so but silver, silver seems like it's going its own here. Let's go take a here's stocks. Nothing to say. What are you gonna say? The all-time highs, all-time highs. Let's go to bean oil here since we were just talking about crude oil. Okay, so here this is an intraday. This is today. Okay, this is the opening bar. Okay, and then this is what we did. Okay, as a matter of fact, this is weaker than crude oil. Okay, so we got some relationships. And because I saw somebody post 89% of the time the bean oil and the crude oil were correlated here. So here we're down in crude oil here. So just to recap, we had an olive line sell right here. One of my clients, another pit trader, said, he goes, that's the damnedest thing. He goes, you close right over it, and then it goes, and then it just breaks 300. So, and we got out here. I had something to sell, as a matter of fact, for somebody else. I sold it at 75 even. Those were priced like 40 ticks lower, but the algo opened up at 75 even. See it right there, 75 even. I had something at 75.14, man. That's robbed. Let's go look at what it was. Right here, 75.16. I put it 2 ticks under. It was, and if you had it 3 ticks under, you still might not have been filled, right? Because if there was, I'll oversimplify, if there was 500 to sell at 13 and that was the high, maybe only 2 traded. So that's bean oil here. I don't know. We'll see here. We want to buy the green down below. It's about 400 points lower. And let's go look at beans here. This is July beans. July Nove actually was up to 22 this morning before the opening, and it was back at 18. But here you can see here we gapped higher, okay? No fertilizer, okay? This is what's in the news now. And funds are very long. Here, you know what? Here, we just printed this green here. 12, 11, and 3/8. This has got to be 11 and a half. 11 and a half is the low. Okay, that's why on CQG it'll give you round up, round down if you have a value like that. Because the value's, it's exact to an eighth. Here, we just bounced off it here. What is it, 110? Let's just look at that on a 3-minute just for schnikes and giggles. Okay, here, this is a 3-minute here, okay, 103. It's 111 right now. And how was the volume here? Let's go look at the volume here and let's just see here. Okay. Yeah, 1,200 cars. That was beans. Okay, now here we are coming back. But, and then these are tiny olives here. Okay, tiny. Okay, tiny. They worked today, 20 and a half here. 22 and a half was the overnight high. Okay, these are getting ready to come off because they're too tiny. Okay, but we did go from the olive to the green. Okay, that's a steadfast rule that I, cover here. Let's go to corn here. We'll just hit this up. Okay, we're up 4 cents here. We're in a big range. I told somebody here on this day, I'm like, we really should have let the long corn go on rallies, just because we got a boatload of it out there from last year. And but anyway, we come back down to here. We come back down to that, right? That was a USDA bearish thing that I want to buy right here. I want to buy that, Here it's a pivot, okay? It's a pivot. Here it's a low. Here you blow through. Okay, here it plays for 2 more days on a close basis, okay? On a close basis. Anyway, that's July corn here. I'll make this fast here. Oh, this is KC wheat here. Let's go look at July Chicago wheat. Up 14 and a half here. We had this break, come back down. These are all long-term trend lines here. All these hashed and dotted. Dotteds tend to be longer term than that. If you like buying long-term trend lines, and those have been playing pretty well here. Should we go and do meats? 9 minutes. No, I'll do a meat. Actually, as a matter of fact, meat's closed, and they closed down $1.50-ish in the back months. Wow, up 75 and down 50 cents June and August. Huh? Trump talked on cattle here and said to Brooke Rollins, who he had just gone through the medical about cutting because he wanted to cut the prescription bill. And oh yeah, moms.gov. Go over there if you're looking to have a kid. They got a lot of new programs to help out. So anyway, he mentioned to Brooke Rollins, he goes, we got to get those cattle prices down. We got to. He said, we got to get those cattle prices down. So, and cattle did sell off. It sold off about $4.5, $5 on the lows, and we kind of came back here. All right, let's call this a wrap. You need something? Whatever, man. You just, here, you want to, here, you know what? Here, hang on a second here. Let's do one more thing. Let me bring up my, okay, these are the charts here. Okay, so you can see the dates. Okay, oh, hang on a second here. There, 5/11 here. Okay, and then the 8th is over the weekend. These are Augie cattle. You got any cattle? Augie? I got something to say about that spread. And then, okay, and then here's an RBOB, a Brent. Okay, this is Brent that they all misquote. Nobody gives a rat's ass about Brent unless you live in Europe, and we don't. So anyway, if that's what I put out, that you get it delivered to your inbox, arp@nasdog.com. Thanks for watching. Always use a risk stop to stop the risk.